So welcome everyone to this session, Mind the Gap, Bridging the Distance Between Technology and the Educator. Quick note about Q&A before we get started. So this year, everyone here in Austin can participate in the Q&A by using the JNUC app. And for those listening in online, you can too. So I will be monitoring the Q&A. So any questions that come in, just locate it in the session list, start submitting any questions. You can upvote as well. So our virtual attendees, please participate in addition to that, and we will have Q&A at the end. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to your speakers today, Callie O'Neill and Matt Pullen. Welcome.
Okay, so Matt said if I wanted you guys to do this, I had to be the one that said it. So if everyone could, please close those laptop lids and come on to the front of the room. See all of these chairs all right here waiting for you. And even if you're on the side, I'm still gonna make you come over here.
And we're both ex-teachers, so we don't let up either.
An ex-teacher and camp counselors, so we will not relent. Like, we're gonna smile through this. We're gonna get there. So we're all gonna. It will be fun. It's gonna be a participation one. We brought our snacks with us, so if you do have your popcorn, if you have your soda or your water, grab those. Get comfy. We want you to be able to participate and join us. For those of you who are at home, I hope that you're comfortable, or at least enjoying your day. All right, thank you so much for doing that, everyone. Thank you. Round of applause. You guys are participating. Participation is the hardest part, right?
Gold star.
Gold
stars, like gold stars? You don't do that here?
Oh, gold stars. Oh, yeah. Sometimes an accent, that gets the best of you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so I'll give a little context to what we're going to do in this session. Ex-educator, now obviously works doing what I do now, worked a lot with schools to try to help them deploy devices, okay? And one of the findings that I always had was this huge disconnect from the IT admins that had all of the job of setting it all up and the teachers who had the job of making it all work. And so we kind of thought, what better opportunity to kind of have a session where we can try and bridge that gap. Let's try and work out what the issues are. So like we said, this is going to be interactive. We kind of want the feedback. We want you to talk. We want you to talk to each other. I'm going to open it up with a who's in the room. Okay, so just by show of hands, who in here is an IT admin? Who is, I can already know where this is going. Who in here is like an ed tech support, like, you know, drives into doing things, a few. Yeah. Who is something else? And you now have to share with everybody what the something else is. Is it like everything else? Go on, you go first.
We're a solutions provider to the ed group as far as like hardware support. So I just want to kind of understand some of the challenges.
Cool.
Our clients are apply their solutions around it.
Perfect, sounds good. Yes?
So my title is Director of Instructional Technology, but my reality is I spend more time teaching than doing anything with technology. So I'm kind of bridging my own gap.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go, good.
And what are you, K through 12, or are you 7 through 12? Okay. And how many of you are in one district, and how many of you are like, if there are multiple schools in your district, so like maybe all high schools or all middle schools, or are you all like K through 12 or higher ed? Anyone? K through 12? K-12? 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 All K-12?
Okay.
Any higher ed? Not to like, okay, there's our higher ed crew back there. Okay.
They're the ones that stayed at the back,
Yeah.
even when you told them to go forward.
Yeah. No, they're the ones that showed up late.
I was high ed, by the way. I can. Okay, right. Fantastic. So, like we said, our backgrounds, I'll go through me first. I was in education for 20 years, teaching. First 10 years, just a standard teacher, teaching without technology. And then I moved out of doing that and started to do some ed tech stuff, and then ended up in high ed training future teachers on how to use technology, alongside being an Apple professional learning specialist and training up all sorts of people on how to use technology. So it was part fixing problems that the education system had caused, and part trying to get them before they've learned the bad habits, and then send them off into the workforce. So yeah. That's me.
That's, yeah, very similar to that. I started out, so I graduated college in 2008, which was a great time to graduate college and go out and find a job. If you're not familiar with that season of our lives, it was a really bad economic climate. So I sort of went from being this wondrous kid art history major to kind of leaning on what I had done in college, which was teach other students how to use iMovie and use a lot of the Mac operating system. And so when I went out and asked for jobs, I got one at the DePaul University in the College of Education. And there I taught our professors how to use various applications. And then on top of that, we really dug into e-portfolios and using that as our teachers' way of documenting what they were doing out in the world when they were student teaching. And then going from that, I went into working at a high school as a technology trainer there, working with the G Suite and all of the Chromebook operating system and actual the Chromebook devices, which was really fun because we were also, there was a school district that was also able to bring their own devices. So the students were able to come with their Chromebooks or come with their Apple laptops every day. So those are kind of my big teaching moments or touch points with education over the years. And then also I have all of my aunts are teachers, literally all of my aunts are teachers. And so I answer a lot, and actually with some of my cousins now. So I answer a lot of those types of questions too.
Okay, so you've heard from us. Jamf Nation is all about community. So now is a chance to hear from each other, because the essence of what we're going to be doing is talk about scenarios that you may have faced, you might well deal with tomorrow, or not tomorrow because you'll be here, but next week, of how to deal with these situations. So we're just going to ask you, it's comfort zone time. You're happy to sit there and maybe not talk to each other, but we're going to make you talk to each other.
We've got one leaving already. We've got one leaving.
I do not.
Oh, wrong room. Sure.
So we want you to
Any other wrong rooms? Anyone else? That's you're out now. Go.
Talk to the people next to you. If the person next to you came with you, you're going to need to get up and speak to someone else. You could just turn around and talk to someone behind you. But just talk about some of these things. What are the problems you face every day in your role? We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of, you probably have some horrendous stories to tell. Don't go too deep into the story. They're great, but they're probably best for the party tomorrow. Everyone loves an education trauma. But just a little bit about, what do you do? Where do you work? What's your kind of daily issues that you face around this topic of, I have this job to do, you have this job to do. How do we kind of meet it? So over to you, chat away. You fill the void now.
Yeah. Chat to your neighbor. So if I go down there, I'm just gonna go get my water. Do you want your Coke?
No.
Okay. You turn off your mics. Okay. So if I'm by you, it's not gonna. Okay. I do wish that side was a little bigger.
It's still good. You don't need to join in and share, but you can definitely take away.
Yeah. I can listen.
Speaker. No, you can go down. Just don't go to the speaker.
I'm going to be too nervous to do that. I'm just trying to listen. I'm going to take a picture of them. Do you have your phone? I have my phone. It's a really good picture of all of them engaging.
I'll ask permission later.
All right. Yeah.
Where are you from?
Oh,
Okay.
tell you.
And when did you get in?
I got it on Saturday.
Okay.
I made the mistake of taking a nap.
Rookie mistake.
I didn't even remember. I sat down on my bed.
You can't. You gotta.
Oh. And then just awake ever since?
I've been up since 1 a.m.
No.
This is my fourth workshop today.
Okay, last minute, so start wrapping up the things that you're sharing. Okay, so let's kind of bring it back to the front. Now, there's two ways we do it. Adults just listen, or teachers put hands up and make you all put your hand up, and you all do as they see. If you were young teachers, you'd all go, "Ooh, there's something compliant." Great, okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to kind of just break the ice a bit, have those conversations with the person next to you, learn a little bit about the problems maybe they face. Maybe they're the same problems you face. Maybe you spoke to someone who's on the other side and you've resolved all of your life's issues of how IT admins and EdTech people talk together. But let's not, there's no guarantees that we're fixing all of those problems today. One thing that we talk about, and as my role when I was doing Apple Professional Learning, was building relationships between people. So my role almost ended up being the peacekeeper between those two sides. So the majority of the issues that I would see were both sides had the answer to the problem, but they just couldn't see it from the other person's point of view. So having conversations, building relationships, and understanding each other is absolutely critical. Now, I will say the number one issue that causes all of these problems is time. Teachers will come at you with an issue because they're in a classroom for the 30 children who do not give them time to think. And you're the problem, unfortunately, because you're the one who's saying, no, you can't do that, or yeah, we can get through to that tomorrow, whatever it is. You're the problem because you're saying no. The problem is you don't necessarily understand their world and they don't understand your world, right? So this is one of the biggest issues, having an opportunity to kind of talk through things. So as we said, we're going to kind of work through some scenarios today and kind of think about who has the solution to the problem. So who can actually fix this problem? What's maybe a better way to go about it? The number of times, and we talk about this when we talk about Jamf Teacher as a tool that can solve problems for both IT admins and Jamf teachers, but it serves very different cases. So as the teacher, you want to just control your class. As an IT admin, you want less knocking on your door of people saying, my children don't know their passcodes, can you change them? So how do we sort all of those problems out? Does that kind of make sense? Is that kind of, there are nods when I say certain things, so I think I'm talking the right kind of language in the room. Okay, so we want some audience participation. Who's seen Whose Lines It Anyway? Improv show?
Or any improv.
We're going to do improv. I'm an introvert. Biggest fear in my life. It was my idea to do it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But we're going to kind of come up with these scenarios and we're going to try and act them out. And then we kind of want some like feedback, like what would you do in a situation, or what is the solution if you can kind of see it from the other person's point of view. Does that all make sense? Okay, so the scenario we have here is a teacher whose students cannot access a website used in their lesson plan because Jamf Safe Internet is blocking it, or for Jamf Safe Internet, any content filtering provider, but we're at a Jamf conference, so we'll say Jamf. Does that resonate with people? Like, I've planned to do it, and you're the problem because you're stopping me doing it. Okay, what website do you think they're trying to get at? This is the Whose Lines It Anyway improv bit. Like, what's the website?
What's the website? Give us a website. Any website.
Scratch Junior. Okay, so
Scratch
you've planned a
Junior,
session
okay.
around Scratch Junior. This is your
Around
lesson,
Scratch
by the way.
Junior. Oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Then, like, yeah, okay.
How urgent is this? And you can go on, like, is this like, it's in 3 weeks' time, I'm giving you plenty of notice? Or is this...
Like, are you in the lesson right now?
I've just emailed you now. I'm doing
Everyone
it.
has had that. This is so great. This is so juicy. All right, yeah, okay.
Okay, there we go.
And I'm the teacher, so I got to put on a different hat.
And I'm the
okay.
hardworking IT admin.
Okay, it's Scratch. It's Scratch.
Scratch.
Just called Scratch. Okay. This is so much more intimidating than like what I thought it would be like. It's mostly because I love teachers and I like
This
hope
is my
that.
door. by
Yeah.
the way.
Okay. All right. Oh, I have to. Oh, I'm gonna
Not
come to
going
a
to
door.
go full on role play. Why not?
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. You guys, I'm such a like I'm a really like stage nerd. Like I used to do all like the theater stuff when I was a kid, so a lot of stuff is gonna come out right now. Okay.
No judgment. Come in.
Hey Matt,
Hey.
how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm popping out of class. I've got, the kiddos sitting down. They're doing an activity with Miss So-and-so. And so I just need to, I can't get to the website I need to get to. And I've got the kids, they're waiting, they're chomping at the bit. I've had this whole lesson plan for months. I'm trying to do my curriculum and you guys said I had to do something with technology. I'm doing something with technology and I'm on this thing and like, I don't understand why can't they get on?
Okay. What's the website you're trying to get onto?
Well, how am I, oh, all right. Hold on. I have to go get my iPad. Okay, it's www. Are you getting this?
Yes, I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's scratch.com.org.
Okay.
.wiki.org.
Okay, yeah, so we block that site because it's got like a chat function in it and we don't want the students talking to each other, so it's kind of automatically blocked.
What do you mean you don't want them talking to each other?
Well, we do it like they could be talking to each other, but they could also talk to anyone else, so we kind of block it because it's just dangerous. So
Well, how
policy.
do I block that? How do I get that off the thing?
Well, when do you need it unblocked for?
I mean, now would be nice.
Okay, well, we do have policies to go through because...
I mean, I understand the policies. I helped write the policies. I was on, like, the first policy committee. I understand how the bylaws are written, but I need to be on this website now because of the curriculum that everyone has decided that we need to teach this year.
I'm beaten. Okay, well, the thing is that we have to protect the students, okay?
Protect them from what? From what? You want this on them? Like,
No.
this is the technology you guys are making me use.
100%, but the process we like to go through is that if you can let us know at least 2 weeks in advance of the websites you're going to use, we can check to make sure that they're going to be compliant. We don't want to put our students in any danger because, like, just last week we saw a report of children getting onto chat sites and there were people, like, malicious actors on the chat sites and, like, our children are, like, really, going to be put in that situation that we don't want them to be put into. And unfortunately, with state laws, could be any state, I'm not sure. I'm
Country.
from the UK, so like with state laws, like we're really responsible for these things now. We have to protect that child. So look, I'm sure the website is going to be good from an educational point of view. Like maybe we could have a look at an alternative that might be better suited to your needs, but I can't fix it right now because we have to have these things in place that just make sure everyone's safe.
Well, I understand that. I didn't realize about the chat feature. I just thought it was another thing that you guys were wanting them to learn. I guess that's okay. 2 weeks is a reason. I mean, I have my lesson plans like done months ahead of time. I'm never planning last minute. So I definitely have everything done ahead of time. So I can easily get that to you 2 weeks ahead. Yeah, I understand. Thanks, Matt, for letting me know.
That's great. I hope the lesson goes well.
Yeah, thanks. And where do I put in that request?
So we have a help desk ticket system.
I can't just come down here and let you know?
Well, you can feel free to come on in.
I'll just call. I'll call and let you know, okay?
Yeah,
all right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Wow. Okay, so
I've never had that conversation.
I am beaten down. So situation, obviously, trying to well, actually, you say to us, like, how do you think we dealt with it? Was it realistic? What were the challenges that you're going to face? And like Callie is in your school, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else do you see in those conversations that you have to deal with, like state laws that kind of say certain things have to happen? Like, do you have time frames? Do you have those solutions to give? Now, the obvious thing to kind of solve that situation was to explain why, like, and this is the critical thing, why we do what we do, not we just block it, tough, like, get on with it. I've got things to do. But, some feedback from you guys. What did you think? What would you also suggest?
Some of those things sometimes it's the teacher doesn't realize there's a problem with it until they try to use it. So that's, we don't necessarily know why it's blocked. They might get a message, that doesn't make sense to them or to us. So what we have in place is we have an email address on the website, and it goes to the tech director, to instructional technology people. They can look at it, and they can, in pretty short order, let our networking team know whether or not to block it, or reply back to the teacher why they can't. So that's kind of taking the tech people, the frontline tech support people out of that confrontational
Phone call.
Of course, a lot of our teachers don't know that email exists, so that's our next challenge, is trying to promote that email address.
And also potentially promoting the reasons why things are blocked. Like, I will admit I was a teacher, so therefore you probably sent these emails all the time, and I probably just didn't read them. But like, having some system in place, staff training around the processes why these things need to happen. I think that can also, like, any communication that can let people know. I will say, teachers don't come and knock on doors in the middle of lessons asking for things. That's not a good thing, but it happens, right? And having that solution. Any other thoughts?
I didn't hear exactly what you said, but I'm thinking about a list of, in that situation, a list of sites that you have wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the other thing sometimes is almost, it's hard, right? Because the IT admin's job is not to know the curriculum and all of those things, but equally, I have been advised sometimes by my IT admins as for an alternative to what I might be trying to do. And sometimes it depends on the role in the school, the size of the school, the district, etc., and the curriculum. But sometimes, like, you have a lot of knowledge. And I said this, I can't remember if I said it on main stage or if I said it in the last session I was running. But
Matt was part of the keynote, you guys. He was really cool.
The IT admin's knowledge base is huge. And sometimes teachers think that all you do is repair keyboards and stuff.
Yeah.
And it would be so cool to have your knowledge kind of shared on to us in terms of, have you considered you could do this instead? Like, we talk about this as like, I will always feel now IT admins have a lot of the solutions to the problems that I had as a teacher. My problem was I never spoke to my IT admin when I was teaching. But I kind of now speak to you because I do a role here. So I think if I went back to teaching, which I will never do, I would be a really good teacher then, because I'd understand both sides of the story, right? So I think that's a really, really critical point. So any other thoughts? Yep.
So in our district, we partnered with our instructional technology team to have a list of approved resources. Because I think a lot of times, as ever-changing as the internet is, it's impossible to keep a block list up to date. So, me not knowing the curriculum inside and out, it's easier for me to say to them, hey, have you checked out, we call it our Learn platform. Check out the Learn platform. There's a bunch of approved resources on there. Maybe one of these will fit the bill in this moment for you to pivot to.
Love that. That's such a simple and easy idea, yeah.
So you guys flipped your ideas, and then the one thing that you were saying, you have an email address that they can email, and then there's no phone call, there's nothing like that, but they're like sending the
So URL and screenshot of the site.
okay. And so that goes straight to, so the one thing that I will say that we're all kind of missing, and it's sort of funny that we bring it in this way, is just a flyer, like a poster. So like, where do the teachers spend their time? Like, if it's by the copier or the mailroom or like in the lounge, wherever it can be, having something that's like a very, like, what are their top 5 things to know? Like, hey, if you're trying a new website, try it like on a student's device, because we filter differently for teacher devices than we do for student devices. If think about running through and doing like all of the steps yourself and timing yourself so that you can see how long it might take for you to do that activity. Whatever it might be, like those hot 5 tips that you always have, but like hide them with like the more practical things of, please don't come knock on my door. And please just like do this thing, 2 weeks ahead of time, and it will help us all out. Like, that is one of like the tried and true things that I always found was really helpful. Yeah.
In our district, actually in the staff restroom,
Yeah.
they have a sign hanging up that gives tips.
Yeah.
Of things to do, because that's where they spend a little bit of time.
Yeah. It's so easy.
I was going to say is, like, you said this earlier today, which is that you don't know what you don't know. And I think that's the most important thing, is explaining why
Mhm.
in the world with kids, everyone thinks the kids are all innocent, right? That's our world. We have a lot of YouTube articles to be very different. That we have that
Yeah.
fires everywhere because we didn't communicate out at our belief. This is why we're doing this. So we get all these help desk tickets. It's actually an issue because it's inefficient, causes haywire because we're not communicating correctly.
Yeah.
And then we find it better under control and figure it out.
Yeah.
I think communication is so very
Yeah. 100%.
Communication is key because I would have been really upset if I was the tech trainer in your district who had just like helped like 45 teachers set up like their websites and they had like we embedded YouTube videos and did that and it was like in whatever classroom management system you're using at that time like system and like that happens. I could just imagine that'd be devastating to like this relationship as a whole. So yeah, communication is key.
Yeah. Okay. Next scenario then. So social worker, parent, it's anybody who kind of fills that role of their focus is after child's welfare. Okay. Has those concerns about device use at home. So anybody who might have that concern, could be parent, could be nan, granddad, social worker, somebody has a concern about device use at home. Age of the child. How old is the child? Your input, you tell us. This is the improv bit. 10 years old, okay.
10.
And what's the parent's tone or social worker's tone? How are they delivering this issue to you over the phone? So frustrated. Angry, frustrated, or just a bit, are they polite, frustrated? Angry, frustrated.
Okay.
Callie does that well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it is. It's I have a 3-year-old. Okay, all right.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna like do a ring.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's on the phone.
Yeah, you said it's on the phone. Like, you set the scene, dude. Do you guys notice that how lovely Matt matches? By the way, like look at these shoes, his wristband, and the blue T-shirt. Like, if you haven't noticed how cool he is yet, like it's.
I have had an outfit change.
All right, I didn't pick up on that, but anyway,
Stop filling, like go.
Okay, all right. It's just because I just get so nerdy about it. Okay. Now I have to dial the phone. I'm just setting the scene. Ring.
Hello, IT services. Hello?
Hello?
God. Hi, how can I help you?
Hello?
Hello, how can I help you?
Who is this?
Hi, this is Ian from IT services.
Ian.
That's it, yep. How can I help you?
Well, I'm calling my grandson's school.
Okay.
Do you work at the school,
I do.
Ian?
Yes, I work in the IT department.
Do you work with the computers?
Yes, with the computers, yes.
All of the computers with the kids?
I'm in charge of the IT setup for the whole school.
And the one that they come home and it looks like the paper, you're in charge of those
the
too?
iPads, yes.
Okay.
We look after those.
All right. Well, I've got to talk to you about something.
Okay.
What do I do when they spend all their time on it and they're not helping around the house?
So is when you say on their device all the time, are they
What's the device?
on their paper like technology thing?
Okay, the computer thing.
On the computer, when they're on the computer. So when you say on there all
Ian,
the time?
get to the point. What's going on? Come on. What?
So what are they doing when they're on the device? Like,
I don't know what he's doing on the device. He's just spending all his time on it in the room and it's closed and he's not helping his mother and there are a lot of things that need to get done around the house.
okay, so thanks for calling. So we have a system in place which is called Jamf Parent.
But I'm not his parent.
No, so
I'm his
it's like,
grandparent. Do you have a Jamf grandparent?
It's a good marketing idea. We'll look into it. So we have a tool that you can have on a parental device and grandparental device.
Okay.
That you can use to actually limit their use on the device at home.
What do you mean by limit the use?
So let's say, for example, like I'm sure there is a good child. I'm sure that all our children are good.
Of course, my grandchild is perfect.
Exactly. And we send them home with devices so they can.
And no one asked me before you sent him home with this thing.
So we want them to be able to access learning whilst they're at home because we know lots of.
I can teach them a lot of things that they don't need that paper thing for.
Okay. Okay, and I'm sure they will appreciate that. But what we want you to be able to do is have the control of the device, so you can say they can't use it at a certain time. So
Okay, I like that.
so we have a policy where we ask our children to do a certain amount of home learning when they get home, to kind of just go over some of the things that they do in school. I know the teachers are very big on helping students with that.
Okay.
But we do have a system where you could stop them using it after a certain time and basically turn the device off for them, and then it will turn back on in the morning. So they will have access to nothing on the device. Would that help solve the problem?
Well, I mean, like, if they can't access the device, does that mean that I can't access the device to, like, check out my videos?
So technically you would be in charge of saying you could or couldn't use a device. So maybe when the child goes to sleep, you could open it up again and use it for your videos.
Oh, yes, my videos on knitting. On the YouTube. That's what I was trying to think of, the name of the site. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, that's fine then. So are you going to come over to the house and set that up then for us, Ian?
No, so we have parental sessions, or grandparental sessions, every week, where you can come in.
Every week?
Every week. So you can come in. It's like a session where you can come in and do some firefighting type things. Like
I'm not a firefighter.
Okay, we can
Ian.
talk through some of the problems you're having and help you get those set up.
I do have
So
some problems.
you can book an appointment with us, and you can come in and we can solve that problem for you, show you how to get it set
All
up.
right. I'll have my daughter call you then.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ian.
Crazy lady.
I mean, I try not to like be the character from Bluey. Does anyone watch Bluey? Yeah, like the old ladies. Yeah. The old
Okay,
ladies.
so specific solution there is that if devices go home, we have Jamf Parent that goes home to try to resolve some of those issues. Thoughts, feedback? Not necessarily about
Yeah,
Hallie's
doesn't-
character, but you could do a character assassination. Does that happen? Do you have kind of that disgruntled member of family who wants it all to be done the way they did it, and the device is the problem? And any other thoughts? You're nodding your head,
Yeah.
so I'm going to call you out. Go on, go for it.
I mean, you've done a really, really, really good job
Oh.
that the parents don't call IT.
Nice. Okay.
Oh.
Yay me.
Yay.
They actually call the school counselor, they call the social worker, the assistant principal, principal, and then the schools try to, as much as they can, for as long as they can, here's some strategies, here's ways you can do it, here's how you limit them. Do they have a cell phone? How do you deal with that?
Yeah.
And we really are trying not to use the technology as the solution for the technology.
Mm-hmm.
My legal department gives me a hard time about using technology to block my things at home. So we've been very lucky. I think we have 4 parents who have not pleased out of like 9,000, but it very much is it's like a constant dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this is just part of new life.
It's the
Yeah.
world we live in, right?
Right.
How many of you, just by show of hands, how many of you allow devices to go home? Okay, so quite a few. Those of you that don't, is it because of this sort of scenario that stops it happening, or another reason, like as in damages and all of those sorts of things? Like, anybody want to share what the blockers are to why they don't go home? Not
Yeah,
one-to-one.
one-to-one.
Okay, yeah. So wouldn't be in a situation to do it. Yeah.
Ours don't have assignments they're gonna do at home, because then we can take them out.
So it's almost like don't create the problem by letting them do whatever they want. with
And
it,
is
yeah.
that a district policy? There's no homework assignments? Does that go through from K through 12 or just?
So we have 2 schools only in my district.
Okay.
And it's their model, so all their stuff is like more hands-on learning, so all their stuff is just.
Like more Montessori? Okay.
So just kind of remove the problem in the first place. Cool.
Okay.
And again, there's probably a million solutions to that problem in terms of how you deal with it. And I suppose she's really awkward, but like trying to deal with it through communication and education and help people understand this situation and the potential solutions to those situations, like, is a critical thing. But you will have a solution. The reason I gave the one I gave about, like, we have like Genius bar sessions is because I know a lot of the schools I used to work with did that. So they would open up the school one day a week after school, and they would have digital leaders in the school be the geniuses at the bar, and parents could come in, and they kind of extended it to almost like free Wi-Fi for parents in the district or area they were. The parents could come in if they wanted help to do certain things. It wasn't just how do I block my children using stuff. It could be how do I do online shopping for the groceries or whatever it might be. So they kind of turned it into something that was really, really proactive for their community. It was developmental for students as leaders of digital tools, and it was also providing equity of access for those that didn't necessarily have access to Wi-Fi in their own homes as well, so they could come in. So I think the name of it probably wasn't great. They kind of called it supporting the Silver Surfers, because they kind of outlined that it would be old people that would have the issue. So a marketing issue might have happened there, but the goodwill was kind of like once a week, let's get parents in. Now,
I mean, they have a program called Silver Sneakers here in the U.S. for people, and my parents are super happy to be a part of it. So yeah, there you go.
I think it's just when the young person turns up and it's like, you've already typecast. But the idea was one thing, it was a technical thing, but actually it solved a load of other problems at the same time, because parents were coming in, or not necessarily always parents, carers were coming in that didn't normally come into the school. And so different members of staff then had contact face to face with people who they actually genuinely wanted to have conversations with. So sometimes the solutions you have might actually solve a multitude of other problems as well. So don't always think that the problem is this and the solution is this. The problem might be this. The solution could be huge and make a huge impact on stuff.
And provide support, provide opportunities like this in languages that everyone speaks. So this is not something that if it's an initiative, it should be an initiative that covers all of the languages of everyone that attends your school, because that is the biggest thing. You don't want to create an experience for a student to have to come in and translate for parents or anything like that. You want to have the opportunity for materials to be in the languages that they know how to interact with, and that is their first language. And then you also want to have somebody there to help with translation or help with what are the things and the opportunities, or building that bridge between that. It can really dissuade people if you don't offer things in ways that they can learn the most.
Yeah. And I guess expanding the problem so that again we understand the problem is parents, and some of you may be parents, but I'm sure you're the tech savvy parents. Parents feel left behind by all of this. The pandemic obviously exposed a lot of that, and having to homeschool a child with a device you don't have a clue about teaching in the first place, let alone teaching with devices. And I think that again causes, we did the first scenario was the teacher and the IT admin, and then the next thing is the parents, and it could be the teacher, it could be the IT admin, but having an understanding of where that person is and what their actual worries are is probably deep rooted in the fact that they're just scared for themselves. Okay, they're scared of what they might do or not do, which is going to help. Conscious of time, so we're going to skip the third one. Plus, Callie's just going to shout at me again if I give her another scenario.
This is a character. I'm just very good at it. I've just been on the receiving end of a lot of conversations.
So we will finish. We've got 6 minutes left. I want to kind of open it to Q&A, but we kind of also just want to let you talk to the person next to you as well. Again, what the general themes are that you can pick out of this. What would you do differently? How better do you think you can serve things? You might be perfect already. You may well be perfect already. But have you taken one thing from this and think, do you know what? That was a great idea about having a list of approved sites. I'm going to take that, or I'm going to put posters up in toilet cubicles with a specific purpose, not just any posters. What have you taken away? So I'll give you just a minute to kind of just talk to each other and share back.
Yeah. One of them. I forgot about for the students. If your parents are asking you questions, I did it took me until I was looking over at you and I was like, oh my gosh, your wristband and your shoes and everything matches. I was like, Matt, this is it's very cool. I'm very impressed by you right now.
It's a one-day thing. It won't do tomorrow. The rest of it doesn't matter.
I was just I was standing here and I was looked over and I was like, yes. This was like, he's Banshee. This is great. This is so awesome. Oh man. Although I don't know if I should have like lifted weights like I did like deadlift earlier. I forget that we're actually on camera right now. Digital citizenship. I'm trying to think of what else I'm hearing. We should say we're going to encourage them to exchange like information, and then I guess
Okay, we'll hold it there. Just again, conscious, I don't want to hold people up from moving to their next session, which is in a couple of minutes. So just in terms of recap, like some of the things, the ideas that came out, training is a great thing, and not just training of staff, but training of parents as well. Like we know that it's not necessarily in your job, but using students to do it. I think we heard digital citizenship kind of talked about in terms of how do we encourage that, encouraging children to teach their parents, whoever it might be at home, carers, etc., is a really good way to kind of support that rollout. It doesn't always have to be like a top-down approach. Digital leadership is a fantastic way of supporting those things. And the other thing to kind of highlight with digital leadership is it brings out leadership opportunities to a group that probably don't get leadership opportunities very often. So sporting leadership opportunities are a specific group of students. Digital leadership opportunities, from my experience, actually tends to be the very quiet, hidden child that doesn't always get an opportunity in the class. But when you give them the opportunity to be the digital person, they're the champion. They're great. So it's a really, really good developmental thing as well. And having them on your side, and I think Alvin kind of alluded to this. He works with older students, of course, but giving that support to people to give them a sense of what they can do differently. I'm a big champion of like the forgotten child in schools. I could do a whole session on that. I won't go into it, but like giving children an opportunity to like see for themselves what they can become in a system that might not be necessarily suited for them. So that's always a good one. So training's good. We've talked about communication, and the hardest thing to do when someone's knocking on your door is to be empathetic to their situation, but it's the thing that maybe we need more than anything in society. And I'm not going to go all peace and loving and everything, but just understanding each other is a really, really useful tool. You all have the answers to the other person's solution. How we communicate it probably is the critical thing. Now I've talked again for another 2 minutes, so we now have 1 minute for questions. Any thoughts, questions? Did we have any questions through the app at all?
No questions through the app, but if you do have any questions, let us know and we'll tackle it in 45 seconds.
Similar to the scenario too, if you have a situation with a student that likes to go onto any site, so the way that I was tackling it until now is just whitelisted select sites that we need to get to. We implemented, I can talk to somebody here.
I'll hold it to you. Okay. So if people online, we do have some participants online.
We implemented an SSO over the summertime, which is just populated. To get to it, there's different links that you just can't see that has to authenticate. So now we've hit the blockade of we don't know what's blocked. And I voiced like the easiest thing or the workaround I see is just allowing the sites but then blocking what's not needed. What's your recommendations on handling that?
Yeah, I mean, so our suggestions, and obviously it's a tech company, we don't tell you what to do. We suggest, as an educator, we suggest blocking the sites which are going to be harmful and dangerous. Jamf Safe Internet is set up under that proviso. We want children to have their privacy preserved, but be able to just be safe online. So they're not going to get to anything they shouldn't do. From a classroom point of view, we then would encourage using Jamf Teacher to say, these are the websites we want from a learning point of view. And the reason for that is children can get lost on the internet. Like if you say to them, I want you to, go and research World War II or whatever it might be, like that's such a big topic that you go down a rabbit hole and you can get lost. So I would then suggest to the teachers, like, where do you specifically want them to go? Because if you allow them to just search, your lesson is now a lesson in searching on the internet. It's not about World War II. So focus. when we say in Jamf Teacher, like give them 4 specific websites they can look at, the lesson is compare and contrast the 4 websites. That's a learning outcome. Search the internet, not a learning outcome, right? Well, it could be if it's digital citizenship, but yeah. So using the tools that you have to kind of say, yes, we're going to make sure you're safe, but use this to kind of focus.
And if it's really focused around one student and it's like about trying to control that behavior, I would probably say that behavior is going to most likely worsen because that person is clearly seeking attention. This is a very attention-seeking behavior. So, like, just pivoting that student into a different direction, maybe getting them involved. Like, they've clearly figured out or like tried to like create a puzzle for you guys to solve. Like, involve them in it. Like, talk to them about like, is there a way that we can like use your creative mindset, or is there a way that we can use this in a different can we put you in a leadership position of like teaching how to like use technology or do something like that? You know, obviously there's a lot of social emotional like well-being, like that could be part of the scenario you said, but if we think about it from like a purely standpoint of that, it's you know, maybe the kids who try to crack the technology, the kids who like try to get into like the projector to do things, like those are really creative kids. Those are really smart, creative kids. Like, give them the opportunity to like help you figure out how to solve problems, because like they're trying to create them and like you're trying to solve them. So maybe like working together with them might be a good idea.
Yeah, we are at time, so
Thank you.